Hello and welcome. This is Sameer Desai, founder of Seagull Advertising. Today's Dreamers to Doers episode is different. They're always different. But today I have somebody who is an inspiration and motivation for all dreamers in this world. Somebody who believes that fitness and well-being is essential to every person, whether he's an entrepreneur, whether he's a founder, whether he's a professional. I have my friend and coach in fitness and well-being, Prasad Patil, with me. Prasad is an engineer by profession. He is also worked for 20 years in different companies in different roles, so he has a corporate background to him. 12 years ago, Prasad chose to be free. His inspiration and purpose in life is very similar to Seagull, is to be free. But in this freedom, what Prasad has done is inspired hundreds and thousands of people, either through Pune running or through his special classes, his lectures, as well as his coaching which he does on a regular basis at Aund in Pune. People who've been inspired to be fit, people who've been inspired to take out 60 minutes a day, no matter whether it is rain or sun or cold weather, Prasad always shows up. And that's what has inspired me to invite Prasad to this particular episode. And Prasad, welcome. Yeah. You've been a great inspiration for me. And I'm sure for people who are watching this episode, for whom the dream becomes so big and they're so inspired to do, that many a time they don't take time out for their own self. Okay? They're not free, if I can put in your terms. They're just not free to their own thoughts. They're not free to listen to their body. Yeah? So, Prasad, tell us something about your journey to this present status of being free.
As a child, like every other child, I was into sports. Sports was the first thing and academics was the second thing, personally for me. Till the age of 12 to 14, was
Sports
to
first.
sports, outdoor sports.
Okay.
When I was 12, 13 years old and going from 8 to 9 standard, both the parents, they called me. They said, Prasad, if I'm allowed to share myself.
Of course, that's the purpose. Yeah, please.
So they said, Prasad, life is not about playing.
Okay.
It's not about sports. Education is very, very important to survive. So you are now in 9th. Next year you're going to be 10th. 10th is very, very important for you. So no more sports. Get yourself admitted to the classes, and once you get the 10th right, your life is set. And I had no choice to believe them because they were elders, they were supporting me, everything. Without my push, I stopped all the sports activities and I started attending the classes as well as coaching classes, both. It was busy morning to evening. You can imagine most of the listeners here. Then 10 happened. And 11, usually if you get good marks in 10th, naturally choices in our country especially is science. I took science. 11 happens, then 12. Again, both the parents, they call me. Prasad, very, very crucial year in your life, 12th. Once you get your 12th right, your life is set. Once my father was an engineer, so he said, because I was not that great student, so I can score and get to the medical. That was a choice. So 12th happened. I was fortunate enough to get admitted to the engineering college. And then engineering also happened. And once you finish education, what happens is work. Again, I was quite fortunate enough, selected for good companies, started working with fantastic people. I had fantastic colleagues, bosses, and then life was moving. Though there was no time because at that age you are young, body is supportive, fitness is maintained naturally. But you chase your desires and dreams to earn money or to earn a fame or something. Or we call that success. So I was working 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years, I got promoted. And once you start earning money, next thing is marriage. When marriage happens, there you are here. You're educated, you're married, you're earning. Then you buy your dream house. Then you travel also wherever, like, you have money. For outside world, it was a successful life.
Highly successful Prasad.
Highly successful life.
Okay.
Because you have been recognized by your schoolmates, by your relatives, and the people around. They said this is a successful life. But inside me, I was struggling. Stress always one consistent friend with me. I was not coming to the term, this is called a success. Because there was always a struggle in every moment. Every situation there was a struggle. There was issue with the colleagues, there are issue with the family front, there are issues with the every kind of, and there was a confusion. Then I started understanding whether there is something called a settled life. Whatever my parents told, or the government was telling, or the society was telling me, or the relatives were telling me, success and settled life, but it was not visible.
So what you're saying, Prasad, is that earlier on, given a choice, you would have loved to continue in sports. Yeah.
I don't say that,
but at some point, it was not by choice. It was because of the wisdom, intelligence, and of course, the interest in your parents that you have a good life, and they believe that a good life came from education, and hence doing well in 10th, doing well in 12th, then you got in engineering, then getting a good job, okay, and with job getting a good partner, and then family. That seems to be a defined path for almost 99% of people that we talk to.
Yes.
Correct? That's the format.
Yes.
But in spite of all this, which you said external, so your batchmates, your school friends, your colleagues always saw you as accomplished. But inside, you didn't feel that way.
Yes. There's a big void, big conflict.
So is that the time when you decided to exit? Did you take 20 years to realize this?
No, there was a struggle. Then I keep on, changing companies.
Okay. So you thought first it may be a company problem, but then somewhere
I thought it's a company problem or a boss problem, or sometime maybe I am not fitted for this, or salary is not enough.
Okay.
Because as you keep on, then children happen.
Children also, correct.
Then all the expenses, then you feel this colleague is traveling to this place, and I am not taking that, to my family. So, that put you in that spot or pressure, then you are in competition, and then comparison happens. That comparison, competition, I hated at that moment. I didn't understand this at that moment.
So is that the time that you felt, or you realized, I would not say felt, because I think what you're saying is you did a lot of introspection, and but at some point you realized that this is not for me, correct? And that's when you stepped out.
Yeah. See, what happens is, I'll just add to this. When I was struggling, or any person struggles, then he's trying to find out who are the successful people in the world. And whether we have access to them.
Correct.
Then I tried to make that contact and stayed with them. I said, they're in same boat that as I am. From outside, they are everything. But in some or other areas, they were also struggling. Then there was a curiosity, or I was fortunate enough to, then you start reading, and you start watching, and slowly I started understanding.
So tell me, when did the transition come for you to become a fitness and well-being educator? How did that happen? So from an engineer who had different roles in different corporate companies, you actually switched completely to becoming a fitness and wellness educator. And today, within the Pune running circles, you're extremely well known. So what happened, and what is this?
See, whenever I was struggling this, I started thinking, and I was experimenting when I was working. But my focus was not there in the work, but interest in this area. So I tried to be in training while working.
Fitness, wellness training?
No,
or
not training. Other training.
Other training, okay.
Because I thought ki the communicator are more successful.
Achha, okay.
So I can rise to a different position.
Okay.
So technical things will be taken care by the others, but I will move to ladder there. So I was like in pursuit of learning the skill or that ability to communicate. But in that, my focus on job or when the industry was changing fast, technology-wise or this-wise, and when the opportunities were outside, I didn't take those opportunities.
Okay. Because you are focused on something else.
And then one day what happens is, I was working with Asia Pacific organization. That entire organization, company decided to
Lay off.
stop. They discontinue the entire organization. Then we didn't have choice. But before that, I started running.
Okay.
Because when you go extreme kind of stress, in that we try different escapes. Entertainment is an escape.
Alcohol is also an escape.
Alcohol is an escape. Smoking is an escape. And I started running.
So
and
running,
I found that running is a fantastic escape from my feeling. And I was enjoying it.
So you started running while you were still working?
Yes.
Okay. And you started running because in a form, probably, knowingly, unknowingly, it was what you used to like when you were a child. You're a sports person.
Right.
Because even your fitness and well-being, the sessions you take for us and for others are generally in open areas. I've noticed that.
Right.
And you like them early in the morning at 6 o'clock because you get the freshness and you can observe things around, right?
No, this is one thing when that is the time available for the people as well.
Available for the okay, great. Okay. So you started running as an escape, and at some point in time, it overtook everything else because you stopped the corporate work.
Yes.
How did that happen?
See, when I started running, and since there was no job, naturally you go through tremendous depression kind of situation because you're with all the liabilities. Okay? Your image has been formed, and
that you are successful.
The society, everything is recognized you by that image. What is that image was? Like you working in certain hierarchy, certain position.
Multinational company, engineer.
Salary you're and what kind of lifestyle you live. And suddenly that is taken away from you. In that big void, what?
So Prasad, I want to ask you a question because this came in my life as well. Because though it came in my life much earlier, because I chose to start Seagull at a much younger age. Okay, and I realized when I stepped out, I used to also work with a very large corporate company. Stepped out, suddenly you become a nobody.
Right, completely.
Yeah, completely nobody. Yeah, and honestly, when you start something of your own, at that time, even what you start, you're right at the bottom. So nobody's really going to respect you in that field.
Right.
So even when you started running, at some point when you start, training or educating people in wellness, you're still at the bottom end.
Right.
Yeah. And that's a very difficult situation to be in. Very depressing, puts a lot of challenge on you. Even your family starts wondering why you're doing what you're doing. Is there something wrong with you? Did those things happen to you?
Yeah, of course.
Because I think many people who choose to do something of their own, whether it is radical or not, somebody like you after 20 years of experience, of course in something completely unrelated, yeah, or maybe somebody who starts off very early in life, this initial period is a very painful period. What are your thoughts? How should somebody handle this when they switch and try to do something where, even though close ones might say, okay, you want to do it, you do it, but heart in heart, they believe that you shouldn't be doing it.
See, I was fortunate enough. I don't consider this is a transition, but when I was nothing in terms of my title and image is taken away, and there was confusion with me, and there was confusion at the family level, and all the people, they feel insecure. I was insecure myself. And then immediate family was insecure. My parents were insecure.
Okay.
Because when you are doing good and then suddenly you are not doing it. And then I decided I won't go and work again.
Okay. That was a very, very difficult decision.
Yeah, I took this. I'll go through this. Whatever that feeling was, very odd feeling. Even sky was different for me. Even I look at the people, very, very different. Because when you step out, first thing you ask, what do you do?
So what did you tell people what you do?
Even today, if I said, what do you do to make a living? But this is an irrelevant question for me. Because life is not only making and living.
Okay.
Making and living is maybe a 10-20% of your things, but it doesn't define you.
So Prasad, I'm going to come to that. Okay, so your very interesting thing, you said that circumstances actually made you look at what
that situation.
it came, and because you were
House was on
running,
fire, and I had no way to get out of it.
but in spite of that, you still decided that you're not going back to work.
Yes.
And knowing you well for many years now, you've never seen this as a profession. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. It is a manner in which you give back to people. Yeah. Knowing you very well, you have a zero eye on finances or money. You live in the moment. Okay. And I've seen you many times say that the moment is all that you have. So there are many people who watch this. Okay. And because I come from a brand business kind of background, these are people who want to grow their businesses. Okay, with where you come from, the way you evolved today, the way your mind has changed from what it was 12 years ago. Okay, where at that point in time you had goals, probably even had decided some business objectives, some revenue objectives. Today, knowing you will tell me that I have no goals really. I'm not looking at achieving something. Okay, so that's not it. What is a message you'll give to people who are looking out and trying to push themselves to achieve something?
Is more than committing to any goal or dream. I would say you understand what problem you're going to solve first. Is that you want to do it because you want a fame?
Mm-hmm.
You want to be famous in the world? You want to be very powerful in the world? Or you want attention or approval from the world? Then there are chances, even after putting whole life or whole youth, your energy into that committed goal or dream, and even you reach to the fame or power or that position, the internal emptiness, the internal void will not go away. So it's not a message, but understand what problem you're going to solve. If without understanding the problem, you pick up the answers from the outside, then there's a large gap between your goals or your desires and what efforts you're going to put.
So Prasad, just to ask you, how important is fitness and well-being to people in the current world?
See, in fact, we have been blessed with this kind of physical or biological being. Why this? Because using whatever blessings are, we can explore the beauty of the earth. Because as a human being is a special thing. We are not animals. Though we have animalistic qualities, human beings is the topmost in the animal ladder. No animal has this ability to be conscious about our happiness, about our peace. The way we pursue the love is not about a pleasure only, but when you go out and watch the sunrise, a beautiful mountain or a flowing river, that sense is very important. Unless you have your biological, physical being, all senses are not awakened, you can't experience it.
So what you're really saying is that while people are in pursuit of whatever they have, they should take out time so they can experience what nature has given. They can be conscious. They're present. Is that what it is?
But this is the intelligence. This is the simple intelligence. For example, anything we ask, what I have today? What I have? I have all the senses awakened right now. This is having power. Suppose against that, I'm trading for some money. It's not worth it.
So what you're saying, the most valuable thing that a person can have is consciousness, being present.
Of course. Because
Is that the
suppose
message?
someone will offer me, maybe 1,000 crore, give me 2 eyes. I won't trade for it.
But I know of a current incident which is in the newspapers, and the person is very angry because she gave her kidney to somebody who she loved, and now she is highly disappointed.
Regretting.
Regretting.
Of course.
Because the person she gave it to did appreciate it.
Of course. We don't appreciate. See, it's foolish to talk about God without knowing it, but we have been blessed with such a fantastic biological being, physical being. But at times we trade.
So it is our duty to make sure that we give it respect, we give it attention, we are with our body, So while we are doing the other things in life.
Of course.
Is that what it is? So great, Prasad. I get that as a message. Is there any other message that you would like to give people who are watching this? These dreamers who are on their way to do things what they've set out to do.
Say going after dreams is okay, but without forgetting the dreamer.
Forgetting
Who's the dreamer? If you're confused with the dreamer and the dream, because for me, dreaming and the dreamer is the one. There's no two people. You become a dream. You become a dream. There is no gap.
So you are the dream. Is that what
I'm
you're
the
saying?
dream. Right now, we are having this conversation.
Correct.
Have we dreamt about it? But we are living this dream right now, right?
Correct.
We are living this dream. So we should be aware of it at this moment.
Okay. So great, Prasad. Thank you so much. I think it was a very interesting talk. I'm going to try and summarize it. But knowing that it is deep, I may miss out on some things. But I get from what you've said that the way your life has flowed, I think one of the important things is maybe if we can be aware of what we are as a dreamer and the dream, and we can live this, and we can make choices. Okay, I think making a choice which you did in your life at probably one of the most difficult situations, like you described when your house itself was on fire, but still chose to not go back to your earlier life and to be in this life, where you have freedom, which what I understand very much you value immensely. And this freedom gives you awareness. And you're very clear that this awareness is God-given. And you would never ever trade this awareness for anything in life.
Yes.
And that's what is the message you're giving to people, that you've been given a gift, and it's for you to honor it, to be present, and be conscious. So Prasad, thank you so much for being on this particular podcast. It's a very intense discussion. Okay, it's probably the first I've had with somebody who's not running in some direction. That includes me. Okay, I like that you're in the present, and it's a great inspiration to all of us to ensure that we are in the present. Thank you once again.
All right, thanks.